Hi, I'm attorney Matt Benedict, and this is DUI Michigan Motion to Suppress Defense. In this video, I will discuss a motion to suppress illegally obtained evidence and how this is a defense against a drunk driving in Michigan. In a nutshell, a motion to suppress asks the question, did the police follow the rules to get their evidence? In this slide, you will see the standard in which a police officer may pull someone over. A motion to suppress evidence based on an illegal traffic stop. The process really starts with closely examining the police report to determine what the police officer states as their reason for the traffic stop. In some instances, the officer will cite a violation of the traffic code. In other instances, they will just cite unusual or suspect driving, and I've even had cases where they recognize the driver and know that that driver has a bench warrant for their arrest. I have had the most success suppressing illegal traffic stops and the evidence that comes from it, where the police officer's own words I can use against them, and those words will come out of the police report. What normally doesn't work all that well is where you have a client that contradicts everything the police officer states they observed while they were out on the road. Dash cam video from a police cruiser allows defense attorneys, judges, prosecutors to actually sit with the police officer as they're observing what's going on in front of them. Years ago, I defended a driver that was on M22 heading towards Northport in Leelanau County. This driver was cited for unusual driving on the roadway. Once I saw the dash camera video, it really wasn't adding up at all. So I filed a motion to suppress the evidence, arguing that the police officer did not have reasonable suspicion to pull this driver over. At the hearing, I brought in a projector and played the dash cam video for the judge. I was also given an opportunity to question the police officer while we were watching the video, and I actually went to the one spot that I thought possibly this driver had touched the center line. And the police officer, to his credit, said, no, that's actually pretty common. And the portion of his driving that I was talking about was somewhere else. After watching the car dash video, the judge agreed with me that this officer had not seen or had sufficient reasonable cause to pull this driver over, and he suppressed the evidence that flowed from that traffic stop. Another example would be I defended a young man, 19 years old. He was in a car with some of his cronies, and more or less the police officer saw them and pulled them over. The police officer cited as his reason to pull over this young man was that he had crossed one of those white lines that divides lanes at a stoplight. These are the large, long white lines that you see when you enter like a left turn lane at a traffic light. So after I received the police report, I saw that, and I started digging into the traffic laws to determine if there really was a violation for crossing one of those large white lines that separate lanes of traffic at traffic lights, and it turned out that there really isn't anything on that in the traffic code. So when I filed my motion to suppress this traffic stop based on a legal stop, the prosecutor became very nervous and made a sweetheart plea offer for my client. In both of these examples, after I examined the police report, I more or less used the police officer's words against him. In the first example, the police officer said that there was bad driving by the driver. Well, Judge, here's the video, and you can see for yourself there's nothing wrong with his driving. And in the second example, the argument would be, the police officer said, well, he violated the law by crossing that white line, and to which I say, well, Judge, here's the traffic code. There's no law on this topic, and it's not a violation of anything. Motion to suppress is a very powerful defense against drunk driving. It doesn't happen often, but when it does come together, it will, more likely than not, completely wipe out the drunk driving charge.